if Ghost of Tsushima was just the beginning? That's the question that echoes the moment you step into Ghost of Yōtei. It doesn't try to replace what came before, it evolves it. This isn't a clone, it's a spiritual successor, yes, but with a soul that's darker, more haunted, and unapologetically its own. Where Ghost of Tsushima leaned into beauty and honor, Yōtei pulls you into a world where every choice feels like a curse, every blade strike like a question of identity. You are not just a warrior, you are a vessel of pain, of vengeance, of something older than legend. From the very first scene, it's clear this game is telling a different story, one that doesn't flinch at the supernatural, one that embraces silence, shadows, and spiritual rot as much as it does honor and tradition. It's like the developers took everything we loved about Tsushima's combat and atmosphere and then dipped it in folklore, rage, and existential doubt. You feel it in the soundtrack too, that low, trembling flute, the wind that doesn't just guide you but whispers. Yōtei isn't just about what you fight, it's about what follows you, what you become. There's no map guiding you to redemption, only the weight of the past and the ghosts it left behind. It's not here to be the next big samurai hit, it's here to haunt you. And somehow, that's what makes it feel like exactly what we've been waiting for. Something deeper. Something that doesn't hold your hand but forces you to grip your blade tighter. And in an era of games built on spectacle, Ghost of Yōtei dares to ask, what if the real spectacle is silence? There's something about the setting of Ghost of Yōtei that pulls you in before a single sword is drawn. Mount Yōtei isn't just a backdrop, it's a character. And the world that surrounds it feels ancient, haunted, and utterly alive. Unlike most open worlds that serve as beautiful but hollow playgrounds, this one breathes mythology. Every shrine feels like it's been waiting centuries for you to arrive. Every gust of wind seems to carry a whisper from the past. The game leans heavily into Japanese folklore, not just as decoration, but as its foundation. You don't just explore villages, you step into fables. You don't just fight bandits, you confront spirits twisted by regret, yokai shaped by sorrow. These aren't just enemies, they're stories in motion, and you, the player, are forced to reckon with them. Even simple interactions, like passing through a torii gate, carry meaning. They signal a shift not just in gameplay, but in reality. One moment, you're walking through a bamboo grove. The next, you're inside a dream laced with memory and malice. There's no clear line between the natural and supernatural here, and that's what makes it unforgettable. The developers didn't just build a world, they summoned one. One where fear and beauty walk side by side. And instead of pushing the folklore to the edges, Ghost of Yōtei makes it the beating heart of the experience. In doing so, it doesn't just immerse you, it challenges you to see Japan not as a place on a map, but as a realm shaped by myth, spirit, and shadow. You don't just fight in Ghost of Yōtei, you commit. Every clash demands intention. The combat isn't built for button mashers or speedrunners. It's slow, deliberate, and brutally poetic. One misstep and you are punished. But when you move with purpose, when your timing is perfect, it feels like art painted in blood. The katana doesn't just slice, it speaks. Each stance you take isn't just a style, it's a philosophy, a reflection of your mindset in that moment. There's a weight to every movement. You feel the tension in your shoulders as you approach a duel, knowing there's no music, no fanfare, just you and the enemy, locked in silence. That silence cuts deeper than sound ever could. It's not just about speed, it's about reading your opponent, breathing in rhythm, and waiting for the precise second to strike. And when you do, it's thunder in the calm. But the game adds something new, something more than just steel. Spirit, not magic in the traditional sense, but energy drawn from ancient beliefs, woven subtly into your blade. It's in the parries that push back shadowy foes, in the special strikes that carry a cost. You're never overpowered. You're always on the edge, and that edge sharpens you. What makes this combat so satisfying isn't just how it looks, it's how it makes you feel alive, alert, vulnerable. And that vulnerability, that's where the real strength lies. Because in Ghost of Yōtei, survival isn't about being flashy, it's about being present. Every fight is a prayer, every victory earned. Sometimes you pause mid-game, not to strategize, but to stare. That's the kind of visual power Ghost of Yōtei delivers. It's not just beautiful, it's breathtaking in a way that feels deeply intentional. You're not just walking through a world, you're walking through a moving painting where every frame could hang in a gallery. The snow doesn't just fall, it dances under the moonlight. The flames from a distant temple flicker with purpose, casting long shadows that seem to whisper secrets. Thanks to the PS5's power, the game doesn't need to rely on cutscenes for cinematic beauty. It happens in real time. You'll find yourself slowly walking through a fog-covered forest, unsure if what you're seeing is a trick of the light or a spirit watching from behind the trees. The lighting, the weather, even the blood on your blade, they all shift naturally, creating a mood that responds to you. Textures feel tangible, like you could reach out and touch the frayed edge of your character's robe or the moss clinging to an old stone shrine. And when a duel begins beneath a cherry blossom storm or during a lightning-filled downpour, you're not just playing, you're witnessing. It's visual storytelling at its peak. Ghost of Yōtei doesn't just use the PS5's graphics, it elevates them into emotion. The heart of Ghost of Yōtei doesn't just beat in its battles, it pulses through its protagonists. You don't play as a hero with a clear path. You play as someone caught in a storm of identity, pulled between two forces that define and divide him. On one side, there's the code of the samurai, honor, discipline, tradition. On the other, a creeping darkness, a spiritual weight that won't let go. It's not good versus evil, it's self versus shadow. This duality shapes everything. Every choice feels heavier because it's not just about right or wrong. It's about who you are becoming. The world watches you shift and it responds. Characters notice your aura change. Spirits react differently based on the power you embrace. You're not just changing the story, you're changing the man at its center. There are moments where you hesitate, not because the mechanics slow you down, but because the emotion does. When you revisit a place from your childhood, now corrupted by ghostly forces, or when a former ally confronts you with fear in their eyes, it stings. It reminds you that the journey isn't just external. What makes this character so compelling isn't his strength, it's his conflict. His struggle to reconcile the sacred with the supernatural, the man he was with what he is becoming. In a world where identity is often flat, Ghost of Yōtei dares to explore what it means to lose and redefine yourself. It's rare for a game to feel like a cultural moment, but Ghost of Yōtei carries that weight. It doesn't just check the boxes for what makes a good samurai game, it rewrites them. It gives us something we didn't even know we were craving. It taps into something universal, the fear of change, the pull of legacy, and the courage it takes to stand in the middle of that storm. And in doing so, it delivers an experience that feels personal, haunting, and deeply human. It doesn't scream to be noticed, it whispers, and somehow that whisper echoes louder than anything else out there. For samurai fans, for storytellers, for seekers of something more, this is it. This is the one we've been waiting for. So if this game stirs something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that move us.